Welcome to Ask Swagelok. I'm Craig Gifford here with Chuck Hayes, who is Swagelok's global hydrogen expert. And Chuck, we've been talking about certifications in the clean energy world for hydrogen, for compressed natural gas. And one of the questions that comes up is, what does it mean when a product is listed? And then what should designers do when they're trying to use a product that is not listed?
Well, that's really going to depend on different areas and what regions you're in,
Okay.
and what the local regulations are. So for instance, in most places, vehicles need to have parts that have been tested to the international standard of their area. So in North America, we mentioned before, that's the CSA standards. In Europe, it would be EN, and the rest of the world would be ISO.
Okay.
But when we talk about having them being tested, there's two different ways to do that testing. One is doing it where you go through a test house, and one of the test houses we use is Kiwa in the Netherlands.
Okay.
They'll do all the testing to the international standards, and then they send it out to their authority, which is RDW
Okay.
in their country, and they'll put a little purple stamp on every page, and they'll give it a listing number.
Okay.
And that's where you end up with the full listing. Other places will do testing to the standards, but not actually have a listing for it. We'll have a certification or a letter of attestation saying it's been tested,
Okay.
and a declaration, and the whole test report's available.
Okay.
So when does that become important? One of the big ones is infrastructure. Oftentimes in an infrastructure, all of the standards have a caveat in them that allows you to use parts that have a historical use in industry. So we've been using these for 50 years.
right.
You're not going to run through all the tests.
Yeah.
So how do you prove that? Well, one way is you go to a lab and you get testing done.
Okay.
The other way is we have our internal test reports
Okay.
that go along with it, and that's able to let them then use them on those stations. But then the next piece is when we're putting in infrastructure, it gets a little bit weird when you have to go, who's going to approve it? Who's that
Yeah.
authority? So in the United States, for example, well, we have people called the authority having jurisdiction
Okay.
in that area. And in Texas, that would be Texas Railroad. In California, it's CARB, California Air Resources Board. And in Kansas, it's the local fire chief.
Okay, so it's a mixed bag.
It's a mixed bag. It really depends on where you're at. And to help those people be able to approve it, having test reports available helps them know that that valve is okay.
Okay.
And it's been tested in hydrogen and it's good for use.
Right.
Again, all about safety.
Yeah.
So the changes depending on where you're at. And when you get into trying to figure out what to do and where to go, we're here to help.
Great. Well, thanks, Chuck. We really appreciate it. And thank you for joining us at Ask Swagelok.